How's it going, everybody? Dom from Formal Debut here, and as you can see, today we are in my garage, and there's a different car in the garage today. We are going to talk about everything that's been going on recently. I haven't been on in a while, so let's go ahead and get started. So as you can see, we're starting off in my garage today, and right here, right next to me, is a 2014 Ford Mustang Shelby GT500. And we're going to talk about it today. It is a crazy circumstance of how I came to acquire this car. This is my 2014 GT500, SVT GT500. So we're going to go ahead today and we're going to talk about it. But first, what we're going to do is we're going to get this thing out of the garage and out onto the road. And we're going to talk about this on our first test drive of the 2014 SVT GT500. So let's get it out of the garage. All right, so we are out on the road in a 2014 Ford Mustang Shelby GT500. This is the SVT GT500, and this car belongs to me. So first, before we get into this, I know there's probably a lot of questions about the GT350. I've posted a ton of videos with the GT350 in the very short time that I owned it. So we're going to talk a little bit about the GT350 first and what happened, and then we're going to get into this car and we're going to give you some first impressions on driving it. So first off, let's talk about the GT350. Now, I owned the GT350 for about 6 months, and the long and short of what happened to it is now totaled, unfortunately. One day, minding my own business, driving down the street, and another driver was turning out of their apartment complex, thought he had enough time to make the turn. He did not, and I collided with his vehicle as he cut out in front of me last second to make a turn out of his apartment complex. So everything was okay with it. As you can see, I'm still standing here. I'm still breathing. So I'm very, very thankful, very grateful for that, because it could have been a lot worse. I'll insert some photos of the car and some videos of after. And as you can see, both frontal airbags went off, side curtain airbag. It was a proper accident. And the car was deemed a total loss. The value of the car was very strong. I'm not going to get into exactly what the number was, but it was a very strong value given to me by the insurance company. The car was insured, and it was an emotional loss, but it wasn't a financial loss. The car did have insurance, and it did have gap insurance as well, so that paid off the remainder of my loan. So no big deal. It's been a pretty rough couple weeks. It was emotionally very upsetting for me because I really, really did love that car. But it on the bright side, it did mean I got to go car shopping, which I always love car shopping. So, and that's where we get into this. So that's where the GT350 is. I haven't been on to post in a little while. It's been kind of tough to make videos or kind of really do anything. It's just been a little bit of a rough situation. But now everything is kind of turned on its head, because, like I said, we are sitting in a 2014 Ford Mustang Shelby GT500, which, if you remember from my video about my top 10 car list, this is one of my top 10 dream cars of all time. And I found a fantastic example of this car. So I've only had the car it's been less than a week, so I'm still getting acclimated to it. But I thought I'd take you guys along for one of the first longer drives with this car, because I really haven't had it out all that much since I got it. So this is a chance to get a proper seat time in the car and continue getting used to it. So far, I am absolutely in love with this car. Like I said, I got it, what's today? Today is Sunday. I got it this past Tuesday, so it has not even been a week that I've owned this car. And it is fantastic. So I just wanted to come on and give you guys a little bit of an update, take you guys on a little bit of a first drive, and we'll talk about this car a little bit. So this is like I said, a 2014 Shelby GT500 with a 5.8 liter supercharged V8 makes 662 horsepower and 631 foot-pounds of torque. Absolutely insane numbers. And just especially at the time that this car came out, this was the most powerful production V8 ever put into an American car. So it is just an absolute beast. And this car in particular is a very, very fine, well-kept example. I got incredibly lucky while I was searching. I kind of had the idea that this was what I wanted to get. The minute I knew that the GT350 was totaled, which was pretty much the minute I crashed it. I mean, you can see the photos. It is really, really bad. The minute I saw it, I'm like, yep, that car is not going to be drivable. There's no fixing that. The repair estimate came up to be about $40,000 to fix the GT350. So obviously that car ended up getting totaled. But everything happens for a reason. We are now in this car. My whole entire loan got paid off. So financially, car loan, I was at $0. So everything happens for a reason. And here we are sitting in a basically brand new SVT GT500. Now, this car is finished in race red with the white over-the-top stripes. When I bought this car, it had 4,512 miles. Just over 4,500 miles. It has been immaculately kept. Every inch of this car is absolutely perfect. And I was incredibly lucky to find such a good example of this car when I was looking. I had looked at a couple different cars. I found some 20 to 30,000 mile examples that were okay, and there was not really anything wrong with them per se, but I just got super, super lucky when it came to this one. This has the SVT performance package. It has the SVT track package. It has the Recaro seats with the white stripes. It has the technology package with the big touchscreen and the Shaker 1000 audio system. It is a very, very well-equipped GT500 and immaculately taken care of. It is absolutely gorgeous. This morning, I just did the first wash on this car to actually get it cleaned up and see, determine the state of things, and it is perfect. There are a couple little spots where the paint has been touched up, very little minor spots that were either rock chips or whatever, nothing. But other than that, the car is perfect. It still has the original Goodyear Eagle F1 tires on it, and they are date stamped 21st week of 2013. These tires are original. Everything on this car is original. There are still factory paint pen markings on trim panels on this car. It is absolutely it's a time capsule. And I'll tell you what, so far, it is an absolute blast. Now, when it comes to some of the differences between this and the GT350, I may get into it deeper in another video, but just suffice it to say, they couldn't be more different. The GT350 was more dynamic and more refined when it came to its ability to apply power and cornering and handling and everything. Because this has the performance pack, I do have the adjustable suspension as well as the adjustable steering feel, which is an absolutely excellent option to have. The only option that this car appears not to have is the glass roof option, which is a super rare, super difficult option to find in the aftermarket, and those vehicles do pull a premium. This car is absolutely perfect in every way. It's exactly what I would have wanted. It is my perfect example of a GT500. It is made for straight line acceleration and power when compared to the GT350. If you've ever been in a GT350 before, you'll know that those cars really shine over 5,000 RPM, and you really, under 3,000 RPMs, they are essentially useless. They have no torque. You really have to rev those 5.2 Voodoo motors out to get any power out of them. This is the complete opposite. This has full power and full torque pretty much anywhere you want it to. So it's just been an absolute blast. It is so much fun. I've put 150 miles on it in the last week or so. Not too much, but I did pick it up a little bit far. So the drive back was about 50 or 60 miles. So that was really most of it. I haven't driven it too much this week. I never expected to end up with an example of a GT500 that was this clean. So I did buy this car from a private seller in the Miami-Dade area, and the person who owned it before me just kept it absolutely immaculate. It was just very well taken care of. Garage kept, climate controlled its entire life. I intend to drive it, and I made myself very clear with the seller on that this is not a garage queen. I intend to drive this car. I'd like to keep it nice, obviously, but I just have so much fun behind the wheel of cars like this that I can't keep myself from getting behind the wheel and taking it out for a drive. And that's exactly what we're doing right now. I wanted to get this out. I wanted to get you guys informed on what's happening. But I couldn't be happier. Frankly, if this is what came of a really, really bad car accident type situation, this is by far the best thing that could have happened. I am super, super happy to have this car. It is an incredible car, and I found an incredible example of it. And as you guys know, if you've seen my video on my top 10 dream cars, this is on my dream car list, so we've knocked another one out of the park just like that, no problem. So super, super happy to have it. I'll be making a ton more content with it. I've been cutting in some footage. I'll cut in a little bit more footage of what the car looks like just so you guys can see the condition. We'll make some more in-depth videos on this car and show you guys kind of what the deal is with it and just how much fun I'm actually having with it. But like I said, unfortunately, the GT350 is gone. It was taken too soon, I would say. I wasn't ready to be done with it. I was having an absolute blast with it. But all good things must come to an end. And, you know, luckily I wasn't at fault, and luckily I wasn't hurt. It could have been a lot worse than it was. Like I said, as you can see by the photos, it could have been a lot worse than it was. But luckily, we survived, and we're on to the next one. So life goes on, as they say. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update on what was going on. Wanted to show you guys the new car. I've just been having an absolute blast so far. I'm super, super happy to have it. And we will be pumping out more videos on the 2014 SVT Cream Puff GT500. So stay tuned. Keep an eye on these videos. Hey, if you like these videos, click like and click share and tell your friends. If you want to see more content like this, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If you're interested in seeing GT350 content, I have a ton of videos about my old GT350 on my channel. Go ahead and check my channel page and watch as many videos as you want on the GT350. If you're looking for car detailing products and tools, go down to the link in the description and visit Formal Debut Shop at formaldebushop.com and pick up anything you might need over there. And as always, for Formal Debut Detailing, my name is Dom, and I'll see you guys on the next one.
There's no denying what we want.